I'm here today with Martin of Mono Inc. to talk about Ravenblack, out January 27th on No Cut Entertainment. How are you doing today?
I'm very good, thank you. And you?
Let me start off by asking you this. How would you describe the creative process behind Ravenblack, and was it any different than previous records?
Yes, it was different because during the pandemic, other bands really worked a lot and used the time to create something. We didn't do anything like that. We stopped completely. I haven't touched an instrument for 2 years, and I just spent time with my family, with my little son. We had walks on the beach. We went out on a golf course, and that was a nice. At the end of the day, it was a nice time for me because it was we had time to reflect and really having deep thoughts of who we are, what we want to be, and where we want to go in the future. So having this break of not creating music was possibly the reason why all of a sudden, when I started in March, it went like bam, and it was all there. And the whole album was written and recorded within 2 months, even though we were on tour. So that was crazy.
That is crazy. When you look at the outside of the unique characteristics of creating this album, what would you say would be the unique characteristics that the record offers sound-wise?
Sorry.
You want me to repeat that?
Sorry, please. Yes, please.
Outside of the unique characteristics of that creative process, what would you define as the unique characteristics of the sound on this record?
Well, that's hard to describe because we don't do it like we don't have a cooking recipe. We just listen to our intuition and we just do what feels right at that moment, and we just let it flow. And then this is the result. And I'm very happy with it. And I don't know how this happened. To be quite honest, I don't know where the inspiration came from. It was just there. I just had to write the lyrics down. They were all there, but I don't know why. I think it's got something to do with the universe, or yeah, the time was right to create this album. I
How important for you? Can you hear me?
You're frozen now in my screen.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, no.
How important for you is the design of a record in order for the album to have the right flow, in order for the songs to hit the right way, in order for the listener to be engaged from beginning all the way to the end?
You mean the musical?
Yeah, the structure of the album, the sequence of the tracks, and everything that goes into it.
Well, I think it's quite important for me that there's a nice glue, and that a good record for me has to be like a good movie. It's got to have ups and downs. It's got to start with a bang, and then you need surprises. You need the sad parts. You need the happy parts. You need action again, and then the break. And yeah, it's like a good book. It's like a good movie. So even when I have only 4 or 5 songs, I'm already thinking like, oh, could match up with that, and this could be a nice break here. And yeah, I'm fiddling around then with tracks, and until I get the final playlist, the running order. I think that's very important for me. But I'm old school. I'm 51, and I still enjoy listening to albums. The new generation, they just click their 4 or 5 favorite songs, and they don't get the whole story, the whole feeling of an album anymore. It's I think you experienced that too when you were younger. There were some records out of from my favorite bands where I was so much looking forward to the release, and then when it came, I was disappointed in the first time hearing it. And then I thought, well, I have to learn this record. And then I listened to it over and over again. And then after the 20th time, I thought, well, this is a masterpiece. But I mean, this is a different attitude of how you consume music.
Yeah, we
But
definitely live
but
in a
but
different
this is,
time with a new generation that consumes music completely different.
yeah. But I'm old school, and I stick to it. I love it. I don't want to change.
And in that old school, in that old design mentality, I felt like Angels Never Die and After Dark were two really important songs, like cornerstones of this record.
I'm
Uh,
sorry, I don't hear you right now.
oh,
Say,
sorry.
say it
I
again,
was
please. Wait.
Yeah, I was saying that Angels Never Die and After Dark are two really interesting songs because not only they have a feature on them, they become the two pillars of the overall design of the album. Was that what you had in mind when you put the track listing together and you look at these two songs with those features, what they bring to the table, how different they are, that they needed to be in those spots in order for the album to have that movement, that cinematic movement that you were talking about?
Uh, well, I'm sure I did at some stage. But the most important thing about those features is that the songs were written before, so the songs were there, and we were like in the last 2 or 3 weeks of finishing the album, and then the question is, why are those features on this album? And the answer is, we heard that, or we made the decision that Stormseeker and Sands will be supporting Mono Inc. on the next European tour, both bands. And so I thought, wouldn't it be a nice idea to feature our support bands if we record a song together and bring it on stage together? So that means during the Mono Inc. show, they will appear on stage again and they will perform with us. So the audience gets uh, much, well, they will, how can I say, the support bands will gain much more attention than if they only play when the doors are open and everybody's waiting for Mono Inc. And so, and we do this because we want the support bands to get more attention, sell more records, to become successful, because we believe in karma. And when we were a small band and we played support shows, we dreamed of this opportunity, but we never got it.
Mhm.
And sometimes the headliners didn't really treat us very well. I mean, I think like one of the worst examples is like Celeste Snake Pit. That was a disaster, and we don't want to be that way. We want to give back, and yeah, as I said, we believe in karma. So um, it was to support our support bands. And then when we looked at the songs and the track listing, and we thought, well, this would be perfect with Sands because he can give Angels Never Die a real energy vocal wise that I can't deliver because I am a softie. And I thought that he fits perfect into that song perfectly. And then with uh, After Dark, it was that I wrote the song, the music of After Dark, together with the brain behind Stormseeker. So it was obvious, hey, come on, we have a song together on this album. Let's perform it together. Well, that's how it is. That's the truth.
I think it's great. Your thought process is great, including them in the songs when you guys are performing live on the tour. I think that's phenomenal. I think more bands should be thinking the way you guys are thinking and doing what you guys are doing. I can make.
I think so too. I mean, we, for example, uh, we don't charge a buy-on from the support band. That's so usual that big bands charge a buy-on from the small bands who can hardly pay the tour and the petrol. And I think that's bad. That's nasty. It shouldn't be that way because the big band, they're selling enough tickets and they make enough money. Why do you charge a small band like 500 euros a night? That's crazy. Once again, I believe in karma and this will all pay back.
I'm 100% with you on this. The production on this album is really interesting because I feel like it really enhances the overall sound and it enhances the vocals. How important is that aspect of putting a record together, the production side of things?
Well, I am really, really into good sounding production. But that's because I'm a nerd. I've been, before I started to put all my energy into Mono Ink, I was already producing 15 years before. I produced other bands. And with Mono Ink, I was so lucky because I I don't have to talk to anybody from the record company. I just go into the studio and I just do what I think feels right. And I'm very happy that you like the sound, but my benchmark is, do I like the sound? And I fiddle that long until I think that's perfect. And over the years, I've always tried once again, over and over again, to work with other producers because I thought, wouldn't it be nice to be on the beach and somebody else does the work? But every try was disappointing because I know how I want it to sound like, and nobody else can look into my brain and look into my heart and deliver that. So I end up doing it myself every time again.
And as far as your vocals are concerned, are you still discovering your range? Are you still discovering portions of what you can do vocally with every single record?
Yes, I mean I'm getting better singer after every tour because I don't really practice. I've never practiced. I just sing, and then I'm I have more belief into my, after every year I have more belief into my own voice. And on this record I tried to sing a couple of higher ranges, for example, which I haven't done before, because I thought, well, I can do this, so let's do it. That's all I
And
can
on that
say.
note, is there a song on this album that was maybe a little bit more challenging for you, or maybe a song that you really enjoy, like you feel really comfortable in it?
Well, all 11, I feel very comfortable with it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be on the record. So they could have been on this record as well. But, well, those 11 were just my masterpieces at that time.
And you said that you don't practice, you don't do anything, and you're just learning from the experiences that you have on the road and recording. At any point in time, do you see yourself changing that thought process, or if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
Well, we are successful that way since 12, and why should I change the running system? And even during the production, I must say that I'm writing and producing at the same time. That's a bit weird. It's not like others. Others do demos, and then they go into a studio and have a producer, and then they re-record everything. I don't work that way. I've got my studio at home. I don't have to do anything else than monoing in my own studio. And the drums are there, they're set up, ready to go. I can just, if I wake up in the middle of the night and think I need to record a drum track, press record and go. And what was the question again?
No,
No, I wanted to, yeah, I wanted to say that some of the songs even have for example, I'm sure Rainbow, at the end of the Rainbow, Wiedersehen Woanders, the last song, and Coming in the Dust, Never Alone, those vocals were never re-recorded. They were the very first take when I tracked the demos. And I just thought, well, they're fine as they are.
no need to change.
No, I mean, when I'm happy with it, as I said, I don't want to sound arrogant in any way. Please don't get me wrong, but I have to be happy with this album. I have to live with this album for the rest of my life. And I don't really, well, it's hard to say I don't care. I mean, yes, I am happy if other people like that record, but I know that taste is so different. And I know that other people are going to say, this album is shit and crap. So, well, who shall I listen to my heart or to somebody else? So I listen to my heart and I do what feels right. And we've been proving the last years that when I think this feels right, then our fans like it as well. So yeah, don't change the running system.
Like I said, don't change it if it ain't broke. I feel like this album is really vocally driven. It's such a strong vocal album from yourself, from the backing vocals that you have,
Thank you.
the features that you have. I mean, don't get me wrong, it sounds phenomenal, but the vocals feel like they are the main hero or the main protagonist of the stories that you're telling. Do you see the album be vocally centered, or is there another element that you see taking a predominant role from start to end?
Well, for me, the most important thing on every record is the drum sound. I think this is the basic. If you don't have a decent drum sound, you can forget about everything. So this is the basic. But that's maybe because I'm a drummer myself. But if you have a good drum sound and an okay bass sound, and then you can't really destroy it anymore. And well, vocal wise, I'm very happy that you like it that much, but I haven't done anything different than normal, I think.
Even the way you guys handled the backing vocals, I thought the backing vocals were really well done to enhance the mood, the atmosphere of the songs. Do those take a little bit more time to work into the track?
Well, yes. I mean, when I work out the vocal lines, then I think, oh, do we do harmonies here, and do we do two-part harmony or three-part harmony? Oh no, let's stay, and we record more harmonies than we use, because I don't want it to be too ABBA-esque at the end of the day. We're still a rock band, but it's a fine line, a very fine line between having it nice, beautiful, and cheesy, and that's the difficulty.
And so how do you find that fine line?
Well, I listen to it and then I think about it, and then sometimes I mute things, and sometimes I think, well, that's fine, I like it.
So your own ears are the judges and juries on what's cheesy and what's not.
I am the judge.
Hey, can't argue with that. I'm not going to argue with that. I mean, at the end of the day, the results are on this record are undeniably good. So you can't argue with your ears in that case.
Well, the band trusts me, the label trusts me, and you know, the band, they come in and they do their stuff, and then they go again, and they wait until I deliver the finished product, and then they like it. It's been like that ever since. So they trust me, and I don't have any discussions. I'm on my own all the time in the studio, and I enjoy this process a lot because I can try out things. Sometimes I spend a whole day just to find out if the cello line should be like that or like that. And then the next day I decide, oh, we don't need a cello there. But that's I can listen to my heart, and I can have my own rhythm. And even when we're in the middle of the production, sometimes I work 14, 15 hours a day. Sometimes I work only 3 hours because it's not the right day. And then I go out with my son and we play bouncing ball, and that's it.
One last question for you. When you're going through this process and you look at the end of the record, you have the finished product. What part of the process do you enjoy the most? Do you enjoy the creative process, recording the record, or then the end result, which is the opportunity to go play live and play these songs in front of the fans?
Well, talking about the production, I like putting it together. The status of creating this song, writing, composing, and at the same time trying out new sounds. Then sometimes I changed the tempo, like Heartbeat of the Dead was much slower, and I thought, well, something's not right with that song. And then I've tried it and tried and tried, and then all of a sudden I found out, well, it's got to be that fast. I like that. What I don't like that much is the last 2 weeks when it's the mixing. It's always very close, but then it comes to the very fine lines, like, does the kick need to be half a dB louder, or is the vocal a bit too quiet, or is it too loud? Because I don't like it when the vocal is right in your face and the band is somewhere in the back. I it's all got to sound perfect, and that sometimes is very, very hard, and that's I would say that's work then. And but when that's done and the album is mastered, then I can't wait to get out there and play those new songs for the fans.
Okay, you're back. You're saying about playing live, and as far as Ravenblack, how much of that is going to be on the set list?
Oh, it was frozen. Well, we play 6 songs of that record on the set list on the next tour. The 2 features plus 4 other ones, and we've already rehearsed them, and they will work. That's for sure.
Well, thank you very much, Martin. I really appreciated you taking the time today to talk to me. I know we've had some technical difficulties with the internet on this video, but I really appreciate you taking the time. All the best to you and the guys, and with the release, with the tour, with everything. Thank you very much for your time. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just saying, thank you very much for your time. I know we've had some technical difficulties with the internet, but I really appreciate you taking the time today to chat with me about the record.
Oh, it was fun. Thank you very much. And I don't know if the technical difficulties are on my side, your side, or somewhere in the middle, but at the end of the day, it doesn't count. It was nice to be here, and thank you very much for listening so carefully to this album. I appreciate that. I wish a lot more people would do that. Thank you very much.
I appreciate your saying that. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you. Bye-bye.